Hello, everybody out there. Welcome back to another small sports podcast. Today, you will be finding us talking about pretty much everything football. We're talking about the games that have been coming up in preseason. We got fantasy, we got sports bets, a little bit of everything. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of our content because we are going to be putting out lots more of our Hollow Hunters Pokemon stuff, lots more for small gaming. So don't forget to tune in. I am Luke.
I am Drake.
And I'm Dave. Let's go. Football.
Oh,
Such a
Football
delay.
time.
now let's get into it. Let's go. Hell
go.
yeah. Sports.
I'm ready for some football.
Sports. Before we jump in, we got to do our weekly housekeeping,
Yes.
right?
Yes, of course.
Always important to keep the house.
Get the broom out.
Such a place
Start
like
cleaning.
like
Do your
this.
dusting.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after. No. But yeah, I mean, like Luke said earlier on, small media man. You guys can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Dave and I are also jumping in on our small gaming there with Twitch.
Little
also
bit of
be
Twitch.
posting- Yeah, little Twitch action.
Oh,
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
that.
We also
Okay.
will post some of those videos up on YouTube and that. So whatever you guys are kind of into, we are most likely touching in on it. Also, you have the OG Hollow Hunters. Right now, actually, we are just in the middle of doing a series on our mystery mailbox opening. So if you guys are into that, check that in on that on the YouTube channel.
Evolving Skies coming soon too. Don't forget.
And you can also watch
Don't be
the video version of this if you already, if you're not, and if you are watching the video version of this and you want to listen to it while you're in your car, jump in on Spotify right now because we are on Spotify, so you can find us there.
Don't
You'll
forget
find,
good old Podbean.
yeah, it's Podbean
That's how you
too.
get
That's
to
how
the
you use it.
Spotify's. That's how we managed.
That's how I
Yeah,
like. I use
Filtering through.
Podbean for when I listen to stuff. But yeah.
But now that we got a little bit of housekeeping out, you guys know where to find us in the different ways and shapes and forms. Luke, what's on the go, bro?
Well, man, I'm tired. I'm tired. Had a busy couple of days. Little birthday passed by there, and
Old man.
we've been eventful. You know, dinner on Thursday, and did some other things on Friday, unspeakables, but they were fun. Saturday gathering, party, outdoors, barbecue. That was good. Today we golfed.
Yeah,
I played well today.
you did.
One of those days where I'm feeling it went well. It went good.
I wasn't. I played mediocre, but I had a couple good plays in it. That
Isn't
were
that what
good
golf's
highlights.
all about?
Yep.
Yeah,
You
the
play,
moments.
you play for the couple good shots.
Yeah,
It just so happened that I felt like I had more good shots than bad shots today.
yeah.
That's
He
why.
did,
That's
and he
why I
did.
play Pokemon Unite.
And he did though. I had a couple good drives off of 9 when we did that twice there.
Mhm.
Fucking cranked it. I had people sitting there at the end asking if that was my drive off the tee when I was over the green. I said, "Yep." I said I almost killed an old lady, but still, it was.
Oh, don't worry. He still just managed to get par.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
Ruined
went over
one
the
good shot with
Wouldn't
three
leave
bad
that
ones.
out, eh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't leave that
No,
out. eh?
honestly, it was
Can't
just
give it to him.
It was just par. Yeah, I the first one hit green, went over, so I had to chip on. Then I 2-putted. It was a par 4. Fuck. And then the other one was I hit the same thing. I was like, I told Luke when I was going up to you, I was like, man, I'm not gonna hit it that far again. Like it's just that was too clean of a drive and hit it. And I hit it that far, but it was just off to the right. So I went over into the tree slightly, and the lady where 9 ends. 1 starts again for that 9, and you when I go up there, the lady was just like, "Oh, I found it! Like that was impressive," and she was like telling me where my ball was, and I was like, "Oh, thank you," but it was like under like like it looked like it was been there for years, like the amount of grass that was over top of it. I had
It
to hit
wasn't
it out
actually his ball, and he actually just like went and found somebody else's ball. Yep, this is mine.
Oh my god! But Luke played very well. There's like a lot of times I had to vocalize like, "Buddy, you did well. That was a good shot."
Don't even say it to him out loud, man.
Yeah.
Patting my back.
He knows.
We had an old guy talk about how nice we were, how cool it was that Luke and I were friends. He was a nice
He's
dude.
really just rubbing it in on Dave right now.
Yeah, I could give a shit.
Yeah. Listen,
I was gonna golf, but I just didn't sleep at all last night for whatever reason. So I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna take a nap instead.
Because you were so excited to talk about
I
sports.
don't know. It's
today.
probably a combination of Sheena being gone, the dogs were being weird. I don't know. I was like, maybe I was overtired. I don't know, but I
Got your nap in so you could watch some football today.
yeah.
Did you get some esports in with some Pokemon Unite or what?
I actually didn't play anything today.
See that?
I didn't play anything today.
Really?
No, man. Just chilled. Watched some stuff on YouTube. Did some stuff around the house. Sheena got in around 1:30 or so I spent some time with her after when she got home. But yeah, today didn't touch the computer, nothing. Just relax for now.
Look at you go.
Yeah,
Unplug.
man.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I followed the football game like on my phone, but I didn't watch it. Yeah, today was a very much laundry, lounge, relax,
Beauty.
breathe. It was nice.
Reset.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
Reflect on some football, which maybe we should start.
Yeah.
Football's a thing here.
And
So
we are excited.
We are preseason round week 2. First game to really recap, I suppose we could start off with the Pats and the Eagles, because that would have been the earliest game.
Yep.
That was on
You
Thursday,
love
if I
doing
did
that.
really.
You've been doing that every podcast.
Cool. Unaware.
I just want,
Dave's like, that's one of my ticks, I guess.
I kind of like it in a weird way. I just want to let you know.
Well, thank you. Pats look good.
Mac Jones.
Philadelphia did not.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise.
I know preseason's so tricky because it's so hard to like judge the full team and have an expectation of how they will do when you have them out there for the starters out there for so little. But this week there was more teams that played more guys for longer periods of time. So you start to kind of get that feel, and then next week will be even more, and then the last week will probably be even more. And then some are less, depending. Like if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna sit, like you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Mac Jones looked good. So did Cam Newton. The Russian game man Stevenson. That kid is having a crazy preseason.
Like, is he gonna be something now?
I don't
Like
know.
he's putting in the effort, man. He's playing for a spot.
He's got 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
2 games.
two in each game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Looks good.
And again, you have to mitigate your expectations because of who they're playing and how they're playing and
Who they're playing
who's getting
against.
played and all that kind of stuff. But man, I don't know. Like you'd think that a guy who's doing that much activity and doing that well, standing out, is gonna get a conversation around getting played. You'd have to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially where that backfield is just so gray. Like
Muddled.
nobody's fantastic. Nobody's awful. You
I
know?
think it's Damian Harris is back,
Yeah, I was saying that the
Yeah.
last time.
but you got Sony Michel and you've got Mr. White and the Stevenson guys. Like, yeah, well, I can play football.
Yeah.
Watch me.
But
Give me
at
the
that
rock.
point, it's hard to say what you do. I mean, like Sony Michel's always been fighting some injuries and that like quad injuries and things like that and hamstring stuff that he's always just been. He never play. He can't get like sometimes a full season in.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I
you have
wouldn't
a guy like
call,
that.
I wouldn't call Bill a very patient man either.
No, like
Yeah.
if you have a couple bad plays a
Quick
game, like
leash.
he'll quickly just all right, then that's it, you're done. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
think
You're
of
not
it
playing
like
well today.
Rex Burkhead, like a couple seasons ago, was just doing great. Then it had a little bit of a mishap, couple games, and that got a little injured, and you never saw him again.
Yeah.
And so you just like
Buried him on the depth chart.
he will just drop you, man. Like it's kind of what it is. But Mac Jones, I still stand by that. I think that Mac Jones will be starting by week 3.
Week 3 says,
What do you guys think?
It's probably a fair thought. I don't think Cam has the consistency in him anymore. And we talked about it in the last podcast where, Mac Jones is a better fit for that system. So it's an inevitable change. How soon it will be, who knows? But
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like I was talking with some other guys about it in the sense of when you're Bill Belichick, like what do you do? Like if you're gonna jump in, say week 1 and play a hard team, and like in the end you might end up losing as it is. The storyline is if Cam's starting, then it's like, oh, there you go, first loss, Cam Newton, might as well put Mac Jones in, and then if you put maybe Mac in first, then it's kind of like, oh, he's a rookie, he's learning, he's doing whatever. But like in the end, like if you're gonna face a couple tough teams and it's not gonna be a great start to the season as it is, like why not just put Mac Jones in right away then? If you know that he's gonna be the quarterback you're gonna go to, let him learn and get over it, and just kind of.
you don't want him to start off on hard losses, though.
It's tough.
A
yeah.
rookie's mentality, like he's gonna want to go out there and make a difference. So if they're tough games that you think that you're gonna run into a position where like Mac probably won't win, if he plays well and the system works, it's still probably games that are unlikely to win. At that point, I actually do think that they should just let Cam get in there. Cam's gonna lose his job anyway. Don't put Mac in a position to lose. put him in for a game that they're coming up to that should be a competitive one or something that he can win, get him on that confidence boost and kind of give him the momentum to really starting.
That's a good way to think about it. Like, yeah, you do want him to obviously have that confidence, like you said, and I think it from multiple, even from like an organizational standpoint, like from a marketing standpoint, like you can say, like the NFL will eat that up. Even like the broadcasting of NFL will eat that up. Like Cam Newton jumped in. You'll see the replays, first 2 games, him struggling, throwing picks, fumbling, something like that, whatever. And then they'll say, now the savior comes in. This guy's gonna walk in like he's the new Superman. I almost said Superman, but like, you know what I mean? Like, and they're gonna eat that up if that's the case. So it's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cam doesn't really have the ability to run the offense like he used to, but I think he has a lot to teach a young rookie.
Yeah.
In terms of, mentality, experience, locker room rapport, that kind of stuff too. So it's tough to say. I mean, it all comes down to Bill Belichick. If Cam does something he doesn't like, it's over. If he does, if he's dedicated, Cam is my guy. Until he's not, we could see a full half a season, maybe even a full season, depending on how it goes.
Yeah.
So it's
true.
If you're a New England Patriots fan, first and foremost, don't care about you. Can't stand the team. Hate
in his Ravens shirt.
But no more Tom Brady. So best of luck to y'all. N'Keal Harry's hurt. Like Jacoby Myers is their best player right now on offense besides Damian Harris.
Nelson Aguilar would be like up there. He did pretty well with the Raiders.
Yeah. It's a weird team.
It is a weird
But their
team.
defense is stout, right? So it's
yeah. But what you said about Cam there and like the locker room rapport and things like that, the only thing I would argue with that, not that Cam's got bad rapport or anything, I just mean that the Patriots are the one organization where that's kind of embedded from you, not from like Cam teaching it. That's like the way that they're run, right? The do your job mentality. Everyone does it. And typically, the rookies that they pick up there typically learn pretty well. And they all have that same mentality. You never see outgoing personalities. You never see anything like that. They just keep you on. They keep you on point, and they put you there. And then if you start veering off, they'll leave.
It's the hierarchy of their executives and their coaching and everything, right? I mean, from Kraft to Belichick to Brady, that was always kind of like the tiers of the leaders in that office. But I mean, now with Brady gone, I wonder if the locker room has taken a little shape change or something like that. I mean, Cam Newton wasn't crazy outspoken last year or anything like that, when normally he's very outgoing, flamboyant even, He wasn't that much last year, but that's also because he was on a downslide, like not playing well, so you can't really be too boisterous if you're not doing well. You talk a lot and you don't back it up, nobody cares. So
yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's a bit different. And you saying that, like that next level leadership or whatever, right? I'm thinking about that offense. Like defense, they have it. They have Van Noy there. They have, Gilmore, things like that. But who on that offense is the leader? Like, I wouldn't even
Edelman
say
is still there.
I wouldn't even.
What?
No,
retired.
Jesus,
retired.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but
up to now,
James White, I guess like at this point, like and in
Yeah.
terms of being that like leader on that team, they don't have. It's maybe one of the linemen. Like it might have to be. Like in all honesty, a lot of that those guys are all new. They're young. No one's established himself as being like, I'm going to be here for a long time. There's no one on that offense that's like going to be getting things together. So it's an opportunity for Mac Jones to come and being like, look, I'm going to buy into the Patriot way and this and that, and say, like, step in and be the leader, because Cam looked uncomfortable the past bit. And so I'm just like, I wouldn't, if I'm a teammate and I'm seeing the way he was being on the field, I'm not looking at him as a leader. So I don't know. It is what it is. But there's other games that happened.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on the other side of that though too, very
okay.
similar is the Eagles though too. So it seems like a lot of new faces in their offense as well. So I wonder if they played poorly. Did Hurts play at all?
I think he played
I didn't catch that game at all.
I think here I can double check for sure.
And then,
Yeah, I think he had a couple snaps, but
Yeah.
I'll double check.
I guess for the Eagles side of things, I mean they still have Ertz for now and that kind of thing.
No, he didn't know it was all Flacco.
Oh man,
Old man Flacco
Flacco.
still somehow in the league,
Yeah.
getting way too much money.
Yeah.
Way
But
too much
you know
money.
you see it, like he played all game on game 2. You know that that means that Hurts obviously their starting quarterback and
Yeah.
and everything like that. So they're not gonna just out of nowhere just be like, hey Hurts, by the way, we're bringing home Joe Flacco in as our starting quarterback. Like that's not gonna happen.
MVP, buddy. He changed the way quarterbacks get paid.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Friday's games. We had the Chiefs being hosted by the Cardinals. I don't think there's a whole lot to say for this game. Chiefs won a game 17-10. I think the big thing that I would say is that both Mahomes and Murray actually played a little bit, which is kind of weird when you're looking at guys like Aaron Rodgers are not playing, like not happening. Lamar Jackson, Herbert, like those guys aren't playing.
And they're not. There's not a lot of like new players really on that team either. Like not a crazy amount of that. Like so, it's not even like a reason being like, okay, we want to get him reps as like a couple new receivers and things like that. Like that team's very similar. Like Sammy Watkins isn't there anymore, right? But that's
he's a Raven.
Yeah, but that's
They're
kind
younger
of it,
guys,
right?
though.
Like I don't know.
That to me, I think that's probably what it must be. Is
The only thing,
younger
the only
guys.
thing about that game that I really want to talk about is kind of wrap my head around and get your guys' feelings on. Do you or should you put in your big ticket quarterback for preseason games?
Different. So I have a mixture. I have a mixture because mine kind of goes into the Lions game, because Goff didn't play at all, and in that situation, I think Goff should have played because Goff is a brand new quarterback to a brand new system with a whole bunch of brand new players that I think he just needs to get some more real-time reps getting closer to the time, even if it's only a quarter or a half, like start to get more. He played a couple snaps the first game and then that's it. And then now he's going to sit for a whole second game and then hopefully be ready for the last preseason game. And like, I'm hoping for the last preseason game that, you're going to see him jump in there with all of the starters that they're going to get in there, get some practice reps in there, get them real time playing. So they're getting comfortable. But like Aaron Rodgers or even Mahomes or guys like that, like I don't see a necessary need. Like the guys have been there in that system for a couple of years now, right? Obviously Aaron Rodgers more than a couple of years. They're comfortable. They're veterans. They know what they're doing. I don't see a need to do that where you can pick in and bring in some young blood in terms of getting them some reps. Like they have Love there, like that Rodgers isn't going to be playing for that much longer. Like why not use that time to get Love some more reps, especially where he thought he was probably going to be starting for a lot of the year.
And I think like Drake is saying, the easiest out of this conversation is it is situational. Like the younger guys like Kyler Murray and Mahomes, they probably want to play more. Like they have a more willingness to like, I want to get in there and I want to play. I want to get some reps in. Like I want to start feeling true game feel.
But everybody does.
Every
athlete should.
But by being an athlete, sure, like that would make sense. But then there's some situations where you have more new faces that they should be getting those reps in, or you're coming back from an injury and you want to get your legs back under you or something like that. Like there's going to be different situations for different quarterbacks. For that game specifically with Mahomes and Kyler Murray, they probably didn't need to. The first two games, maybe like preseason week 3, when it's getting closer, then you're going to want to get that feel back so that you can jump in fresh at the start of the season. First 2 weeks are probably kind of throwaways and give yourself some time to rest.
Better than the last 2 weeks, where you're just drilling holes.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right, next game that happened on Friday was the Bengals and the Washington football team. Washington won the game 17-13.
Washington football team, almost not football team. They're coming close.
Yeah,
that new name's coming.
Well, when it happens, it happens.
They've got the final 6 names out.
Oh, really? They do?
Yes.
I actually didn't see that. Okay,
I've seen that this week.
So what are do you remember what they were?
It was Red Wolves, Armada, Defenders. There was 5 or 6. I forget the other ones. Those are the ones I remember. Those 3 because I was like, I like those 3.
Yeah, I like the Armada.
Yeah, I like the Armada. The Defenders is kind of cool. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Red Wolves I think is kind of cool, but I don't think it fits with their team. It doesn't fit Washington for some reason.
They'll just find a way to make that racist too. Like
probably.
Well, why are the Wolves red? Why?
Wow.
It's like, come on, man.
I think
Yeah.
theirs was pretty clear when they were switching.
No, theirs is, but I can just see it down the road. Like, well, you went from Redskins. That was great job. Finally
There is
switching
no
to Red Wolves. Why? Why'd
There
you
is
do
no
it?
like generic wolves in the NFL. It's
No.
not a bad one. Like whatever. I love the comparison you saw with I think Pat McAfee went over it and whatever with the Guardians in MLB
Yeah.
where they just Cleveland just we're now the Guardians. There's no voting. They're not
Yeah. Done.
just came out with it. And it's just like
the way
Washington,
to go.
man. Like how have you? What's
off the
taking so
Band-Aid.
long?
Like
Just-
rip off the Band-Aid
Just
for
pick
sure.
one. Just pick one.
Just pick one. It's true.
You know
though.
what? Your whole unless it's like a really bad name, which I doubt that there a lot of them are. If you just go like Wolves or Guardians or Knights or whatever, like the good the classics, like no one's gonna just I don't accept the Washington Knights as an like just say hypothetical. I don't accept. I'm switching teams. Like no one's gonna switch teams because like especially the people who've been there for so long.
It doesn't matter what they choose. They're just all it's gonna do is hike up their jersey sales.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one that I thought was just like hilarious. The Washington Presidents.
What?
That was another option.
The Washington
Oh.
Trumps.
Yeah.
There's
Washington
no
Biden.
way.
Armada Presidents Brigade, Red Hogs, Commanders, Red Wolves, Defenders.
Okay, if you're gonna go Red Hogs. Oink
Red
oink, baby.
Hogs. Oink. Oh my god.
Let's go.
I kind of want them to go Hogs now. That's one that I'd be like, okay, that you're gonna get ripped apart for being just the Hogs because it's just exactly what you said. Oink oink, baby.
Oink
Just-
oink, baby. But back to the game. Sorry. As soon as I heard Washington, let's go write the names. Yeah.
Honestly, there's not, in my opinion, there's not a whole lot to break down about this game. You didn't really have the starters didn't play for very, very long on either side of the ball. Terry McLaurin looked pretty good.
I'm excited to see Antonio Gibson, man.
Yep.
I think he's going to be like a killer this year.
Just the fact that he's working under Ron Rivera now is just like the guy knows what he's doing.
And
Oh, God,
Gibson, like, he came out of nowhere last year and like was solid. I think he's going to be a beast this year.
Yeah, I agree.
He runs.
He'll be a top 10
Tough.
running back.
Yeah. And I mean, and again, like Terry McLaurin, like great to have him on the wings.
Mhm.
He's a phenomenal athlete. And the beard himself.
Ryan
Old-
Fitzmagic.
Old man taking
I
the
love him,
field,
man.
running it again somewhere else.
He's one of my favorite quarterbacks.
Yeah, man, he's hilarious.
And they got Logan Thomas.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be a breakout tight end this year.
yeah.
We will have a few shows strictly for who we think will be football breakouts and fantasy breakouts. So stay tuned for that stuff. But for today, we're gonna stick to the games themselves. But yeah, I think that both teams played well. I think they both look fine. I think that Washington has that division this year going forward, which I think is kind of bold, but also
Wild.
not really. I mean, NFC East, like fuck it,
It's true.
like, fucking roll a dice.
It could be anybody's.
If Dak doesn't break, then you think you got to give the Cowboys the one up. But I don't know, man. Washington's like Chase Young is.
Oh, he's so good,
He
man.
is. He's such a difference maker. There's not very often that you're gonna have someone on the offense that is gonna be individually more of an athlete than him playing defense. Like
Yeah.
when he,
Crazy.
I
No,
looked
that's
back,
a
I was
good
watching
fact.
the top 100, and I just, like, he made the top 100. Congratulations, Chase. You deserve it. When they showed a play of him running down Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow thought he could sneak out and like maybe dive into the end zone. Chase Young said, "I don't fucking think so." And he just chased him halfway across the field, and tackled the shit out of the guy, and made him fumble. Washington get the ball. I think they won that game too. Like, man, that guy's he's a monster.
And the thing about like Chase Young too is the fact that like he's
He's young.
one. Well, no, but he is. But he's one of those players like you don't see often. A lot of times that a rookie comes in and is just that dominant right out of the gate.
Yeah, that
Like,
good, that fast.
Right, like real fast. Like again, like obviously I'm wearing a bunch of Lions gear right now, but first two preseason games right now, Penei Sewell has been okay,
Mm.
and he's supposed to be a Hall of Famer. Now, is he going to probably get there? Sure, yes, he's going to get some time and warm up and get used to the speed of guys. But you get guys like Chase Young that like these crazy defensive ends that are so athletic. I still think that defensive end is probably one of the most athletic positions.
No, probably is the most.
It is, eh? Like in terms of your size,
Mhm.
what you have to do they're not only are they chasing down sometimes receivers, they're chasing down running backs on the outside, chasing down quarterbacks. Then they're also trying to get through these
massive linemen,
400-pound linemen that they're trying to beat off of it, and like it's just
words.
like it's just crazy, right? I know.
I mean, a classic debate with the NFL specifically because again, huge team sport. Every position is they're going to argue that their position is the most important. Offensive line, we protect the quarterback. Quarterback, I run the show. Defensive end, man, they get paid millions of dollars to try and take the head off of the general, right? Like, yeah,
so
defensive end is.
They have so much more. Like they also are in charge of contain, right? Like you need to stop guys like Lamar Jackson from bouncing out. Like your job is to force the running back, quarterback, or a wide receiver, whoever's in that pocket area, you're contained. They will purposely go out wide to make sure that you go up the middle to where all your linebackers are.
Yeah.
And if you don't keep contained, they bounce out. That's where Lamar gets a lot of big plays because he beats these defensive ends outside of their contain responsibility, and then there's just no one else there. Like his job is, I'm the last line of defense on the outside. I need to keep you here. If you beat me, everybody else is downfield. And so it's like, and so guys like that, like, it's just so important. And,
if you can't, I find nowadays more than normal because the game has become a lot more pass heavy. If you can't get to the quarterback on defense, you don't have a team anymore. You're average. I don't care how good your offense is or whatever. If your defensive ends and defensive tackles aren't having a good job penetrating the offensive line and getting pressure, then you're gonna get beat regardless.
Force the quarterback to move the ball quicker.
Yeah. Then guys like Goff, Fitzpatrick, even like your slightly above average quarterbacks, they're still gonna be able to get enough time to get the ball to somebody.
You give anybody
they
time.
can do their job given the time.
And here's the thing with guys like that. I'll say that any quarterback in the NFL can make a good pocket accurate throw with no pressure. They can put it through a small hole, right? Because they have all the time in the world, and so
they're literally the best in the world.
Where it is, if you're not getting there fast enough, it's not so much even just not putting pressure on him. You're asking your cornerbacks to chase a wide receiver around the field for that much longer. Mm-hmm. They aren't. It's just you just can't. Like there's not the best corners in the world cannot keep up with certain even average wide receivers for that long because their backs against the wall.
There's more opportunity for them to get open.
Yeah, they break off. They don't do a typical route after. They're changing the route, just trying to get open. And you're asking them to. It's like playing tag. Like you know what I mean? It's just you won't be able to do it after a while. And so guys that are like,
speaking of getting open, every single Bills receiver. How's that for segue?
I can't wait to talk about how bad the Lions looked.
Well, they're not playing it. Like they're not playing any.
Well, no, it was Bills and Bears, but we'll get to the Lions eventually.
Fair. Yeah, that was. I was
going to get to the next game. That was my segue of doing it.
Yeah. So Bills and Bears.
Are the Bears bad or are the Bills that phenomenal, or is it a combination of both and that's just not good?
I think the Bills are still trying to find their rhythm with the big quarterback change.
Oh, you mean the Bears? The Bears are having a hard time.
Sorry, Bills, Bears.
Like the Bills just
Bills are fine.
The Bills just shat on the Bears with their second liners.
The Bills are completely fine. They have a lot of their shit together. The Bears, are going through a bit of a change, obviously, especially where you're trying to figure out who your quarterback's going to be, and they're trying to figure it out. Everyone knows this. Yeah. Fields almost died. In that
he got wrecked.
Welcome to the league, Rook.
Yeah.
Bad hit.
It was a bad hit.
Bad hit. Didn't have to hit him that hard. Hit him that high. Obviously, his helmet popped off. But it is very much, like you said, a welcome to the league moment. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah. Man, the Bills, they were solid. Like Ian McKenzie in the groups, like the boys just having the game of his life. Like he was just going off. But like he actually did pretty well in a few games last year too. Mm-hmm. Like he's probably giving himself a shot to get some starts in games and stuff by playing that well.
Yeah.
But I mean, Trubisky looked decent.
Good. Man.
Yeah.
I would say he looked better than decent.
Okay. Well, it's Trubisky, so I don't want to go that high. But
I mean, think the Bills are sitting pretty in the fact that they go, if something terribly awful happens to Josh Allen, we're going to be all right.
Yeah, because I mean, with the way that they've got that offense built, Trubisky can still be serviceable. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a great backup to have, for sure. Again, he's not the guy that you want starting your game every single game. You don't want to rely your whole franchise on him, Bears, but...
It is.
It was funny that he did that well against the Bears, though, too. That was a nice little slap.
Well, he definitely had a chip on his shoulder for that.
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
he's going to. But I mean, like the Bills are on such a good trend right now, and then they're getting a good opportunity now where like you don't have to put, especially with Trubisky, where they can have Trubisky being like, look, you're not going to play over Allen this year, right? It's just not going to happen. We just paid him $8 billion, and so he's going to be playing. So, in the sense of this being like, this is your preseason to build your stock, essentially. You know what I mean? And like get some reps in, get used to our team, because we all know like Allen's a tough guy. He plays a very physical quarterback. Like he plays a very physical game. He's not willing. He's willing to put his head down, which puts him opportunity to get hurt.
Will get hurt.
Yeah. And so for them, they're like, Trubisky, you got to go in, get used to it, the team, get used to some of the receivers and our play style in a real environment. Because in the event that something happens to Allen, we need you to come in here and be very, very good. We need you to be, because they're where they are finished last year. They don't want to be anywhere lower than that. No. Like they want to be nothing but better. So
for them, it's championship or bust.
Yeah,
that team, the way that they're built, the way how well they did last year, Diggs and Allen connecting like they have, they've got to push. Now we talked a lot about the Bears the last time too, and talked about how Fields fixes the Bears and yada yada yada. What do you make of that game, Dave?
Okay, so actually, this is a game I actually watched a lot of, especially watching Fields. I'm a believer in Fields. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think they're going to be okay, because don't get me wrong, they got walloped. It was 41-15, but the Bears had like 4 takeaways. They just and they went for it on 4th down like 3 times, and they just didn't get it. So I think Fields needs a bit more time to get comfortable.
Yeah,
he may not be the perfect patch notes that the Bears need to fix it like that, but it definitely puts him in the right direction. That division's always going to be, you got to beat the Packers.
Yeah,
the Lions are they're getting a little better.
They're figuring it out.
The Vikings don't look good.
No,
it really comes down to
the Vikings are very much like, oh right, they played.
If Dalvin stays healthy, they'll be good overall. Because I mean, Jefferson is nuts. Thielen's nuts.
Thielen's getting older though.
Doesn't matter.
He's still good, obviously. But
Frank Gore's old. He plays football. He makes the team around him better.
What?
Thielen is getting older, but he's not old and busted. He's just
he's not
old.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next game.
And then your Ravens played.
Yep. Yeah. Ravens, exciting game, 20-3. I think that brings the preseason streak to 19 win streak. Woo!
I didn't watch the game. Did Lamar play at all, or
not a snap? No,
not a snap.
It was just Huntley. Because McSorley's got some sort of sickness or injury or something. Yeah. But Huntley looked good, man. He looked good. I don't know. Panthers, they had some takeaways. They played well, I think. The Ravens defense just, even their backups are just stupid.
Yeah,
they really are. They're
deep
just like,
on defense.
Man, like if you
Darnold passed the ball twice.
You can't have a good. You're not gonna have fun playing against the Ravens. I don't care who you are.
Grind of a game.
Yeah,
that's somebody who we haven't talked about. Those. How do you think Sam Darnold's going to do with the Panthers this year?
I need to see him play.
He hasn't.
He played 2. He threw the ball twice.
That's
there.
nothing.
And,
I know. I mean, I need to see him play. I hope he does well, man. I like the kid.
Yeah,
I would love for this to be Darnold's comeback season, like a big comeback story. That'd be great. Because I like him. He was in a bad situation with the Jets. He's got CMC in front of him. Like, Jesus, man, come on, let's go.
No,
that should be a good offense.
That division is like the division I give a shit the least. I give the least amount of fucks about. Like, don't care who wins that division. And honestly, if I'm gonna let someone take it, I prefer Carolina. I guess kind of an underdog story, really. Right? Yeah. So, I like Sam Darnold. I thought he was a good quarterback. I think that he got I think Gase just mind fucked him and ruined the start of his career. So yeah, I hope that he can go there with Ja Rule and turn things around. But mind you, he seems like a weird coach too. I don't know. Carolina's a weird thing. We'll see how it goes.
Well, just speaking of Darnold, there's a good couple of situations this year for some quarterbacks to make some turnarounds. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you've got Stafford in LA. It's a big season for him. Darnold obviously wants to have a big season in Carolina.
Go ahead and say
Goff.
There it is.
Goff wants
there it is.
but they are, obviously, Stafford and Goff are connected because of the trade that they made, but Darnold, I would definitely say.
Hopefully Burrow does something.
Joe Burrow has a lot to prove as long as Chase can catch the ball.
T. Higgs, baby.
I know, but like Case has been underwhelming this preseason. He's had a lot of drops, and he's been. He needs to figure it out.
He
hasn't had Burrow throwing to him. He hasn't had Burrow throwing to him. I don't know if that's gonna be a difference.
Well, they're bros.
Yeah, but we'll see. But what other quarterbacks are having a big year that maybe have been moved? They're looking to revamp themselves.
Actually, this is a great segue into one of the next games too, with Denver.
Yeah,
and their quarterback up in the air.
Seattle
who's going to take it?
Not a preseason team.
No,
they didn't do anything. They put up 3 points.
They never care.
That's all they needed.
You don't talk about them until Russell Wilson starts week 1.
Yeah. So Denver, Drew Lock
and Teddy B.
This is a weird one for me.
Oh yeah,
because I own one of each of them in
different
two separate
leagues.
2-quarterback dynasty leagues. So I'm like, fuck. I would benefit if Teddy Bridgewater was the going ahead quarterback. Because in my other league,
that's the place where you need the quarterback the most.
Exactly. If Drew Lock is the guy, I'm gonna be kicking myself because I traded away the world to get Baker Mayfield as an actual starter quarterback. But man, they both look really good. So it's really crazy.
It's a real fight.
Lock will probably be. They're saying Lock is going to be the starting quarterback. So I'm assuming that's probably what they're going to go with.
If they both go equally, like throughout this preseason, both play well, you start Lock because he's been there.
Yeah.
And he's got the seniority at that point. He's got the, if you want success, he's been in the system for longer than obviously Bridgewater has. They both look good, but that's what puts him above in my perspective. A little bit more chemistry and things like that with the guys. But you tell him,
if you're in Denver, you want to win games.
Yeah.
Teddy B is not your flashy. He's not going to go and destroy defenses and win you the game. But he sure as fuck ain't going to lose it for you.
No.
He's not going to be the reason you lose a game.
Yeah, Denver is a run first and just they're like the Ravens. They just run the ball, turnovers on defense. Run the ball, turnovers on defense.
And their defense
with Drew Lock in there. With Drew Lock in there, he's chucking bombs. He's making mistakes. Teddy B won't be doing that. Not nearly as much.
Yeah.
But if Drew Lock can get his shit together, I'd love it because I like to see young quarterbacks just kind of boom pop.
The other one would be the Saints right now. The other quarterback situation.
They play tomorrow.
Yeah, they play tomorrow.
Jags. The other quarterback competition.
But
Minshew versus Lawrence.
Oh,
God.
Right?
But honestly,
so there's a chance.
No.
Minshew Mania could be back.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not.
Tim Tebow could be quarterback position.
He's cut.
Oh my God.
He got cut. Unless someone else is picking him up. Yeah. But yeah, I think that for the Saints, though, in all honesty, though, it could be a
Taysom
push.
Hill right now.
Taysom Hill, it could be like, hey, here's your shot that you've been obviously wanting to have for a very long time. But 2, Jameis Winston's like, here's your shot to be a starting quarterback again. And so that's a big one too. So there's a lot of good quarterback just stories this year that I'm really interested in seeing.
A lot of question marks out there.
Yeah, obviously I'm a Lions fan, but there's a lot of good ones that I want to be rooting for. A lot of other quarterbacks out there that are just trying to prove themselves.
You just want to see how the story comes back, especially like you said, with the Saints one and with Denver, you just want to see how that is going to work out. Is Taysom Hill going to get the starting job, or is he just your gadget player? Is Winston going to come back and eat some W's? I don't know.
And if you're that other quarterback, so say hypothetically Locke gets in and Bridgewater's on the side. I feel like his mindset's a bit different because if you look at any other backup quarterback, that's just a backup quarterback in any other place, right? Yeah, you're itching to get in the game. You're always going to be ready. I practice to get in there. But it's a bit different. You go in there knowing that barring some crazy season-ending or game-ending injury or something like that, I'm not going to be playing. You know what I mean? You're behind Stafford. You're behind Brady. You're behind somebody like that. I'm here to support him and doing whatever it is. And I'm going to be ready when I need to jump in. But then you got guys this can be Locke or Bridgewater. You're going to have Hill or Winston that are sitting there being they are watching every play so much more crazily because they're at any point that guy could throw one more interception that game and they go, you're in, and be like, all right, let's go. Yeah. And like you're waiting, not hoping that he wants to fail, but like you're waiting that I can. There's an opportunity that every single game that I can get in and play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Like Trey Lance and Garoppolo.
Yeah,
who knows?
It's true.
Like
a lot of those rookies, I think we've talked about all of them at this point.
Yeah,
all those rookies have the possibility of maybe starting, maybe not. But they're in those situations that they're waiting in the wings for their chance.
Got one more. Green Bay and New York Jets. Zach Wilson, baby.
Oh yes,
Zach Wilson was carving. He was carving up the D.
Link.
He loves Corey Davis.
Corey Davis is so good.
He loves Corey Davis.
The Jets have not had like that dominant of a wide receiver. And I mean, Corey Davis is not like your AJ Brown, your Julio, like, but he's good. He's a good player.
Oh, yeah.
And like he will do well with Wilson. He's a safety net.
Mm-hmm. If I'm Zach Wilson, I'm gonna go to him whenever I have to.
Yeah.
And if Zach Wilson's Zach Wilson, he's gonna go to him every time he can.
Oh yeah,
he's doing that.
Exactly. He's making a good pair.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they from a receiving perspective too. Like he's got a decent amount of like kind of receivers around him right now. Like
this guy and his fucking Mims. He just loves Mims. So
I do
much.
love Denzel Mims, man. I think
anytime I talk about Corey Davis, he goes, "Well, the Mims is there."
Yeah,
that was like one of my like late fantasy picks like last year, and that's I'm gonna keep going on it.
And don't get me wrong, Mims should have a better year this year than he has in the past for sure. But I think Corey Davis is going to be the guy to own there.
He's wide receiver one for sure.
He'll be wide receiver one. Yeah, no, Corey Davis is, but just outside of obviously fantasy when it comes to that, though, it is a good year, like you said, for Denzel Mims. He could fight to be a second option. Mm-hmm.
Is Crowder still there?
No, I think he's gone.
He's gone.
But
let me double check. That's one
and
that
then,
I should know, and
I
don't off the top of my head.
Also, Herndon. What is he still a thing?
Yeah, Herndon's still there.
Yeah, and
if he can play, if he can.
And Barrios was a pick from the Pats. I got eventually moved over there and everything.
Is he even on a team now?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah,
and like he did pretty well. Like
it just gives him some more options that he can throw the ball to. Because as great it would be if Wilson only like he has Davis to throw to and everything like that. But everyone knows if you only have one good receiver, it does not help you. Like it's great that you can toss the ball, somebody do whatever, but like the defense just has to play to one receiver, so it's not a big deal for them as much. But if you have some good supporting, if you have some other good supporting casts just to throw some different balls to, like that's what you need. Like in all honesty, like you look back at those Patriots teams, man. Like even when Randy Moss was there was still like Wes Welkers and guys like that you could throw different types of balls to and stuff like that. And that's what I think. For somebody who's a young guy like Mims, especially if he, for people who are looking for fantasy, perspective from him, that's where he's going to be in there. It's like he's going to be a guy who will be there for like your smaller, short, probably game passes, and somebody who's going to take the pressure off of Davis and be somebody else who could be open. Like, remember when Sterling Shepard, like over on the Giants, that one he had that really good year? That was his role, right? To be the opposite of Odell Beckham, you know, and be open because they are going to double team him.
Exactly. Should be the number 2.
Yeah.
Yes, James Crowder still is there.
Yeah.
I actually remember him playing week 1
preseason
against the Giants.
Targets then, man.
Oh yeah, like the Jets are gonna be fun to own. It's weird to say. It's gonna be fun to own some of the pieces of the Jets in fantasy because they're gonna be wanting to come back all the time.
Yeah.
So guys like Davis and Crowder, and
at least people will want to watch.
They don't have like any like crazy running backs. Like Michael Carter's probably gonna have a good year, but like they're not gonna run the ball that much. That's
Kevin Coleman looked pretty good yesterday too. That's who was running the ones yesterday. I don't know if they're just like holding Carter out for now, or if maybe has an injury or something. But Kevin Coleman looked pretty good. I don't know what their plan is in New York. New York's fucky.
Well, yeah. I mean, like in all honesty, though, for all the listeners, I'm sure you guys all have your team, but your Sunday setup. Your TVs and everything like crazy, like just like we do. And at least New York won't be necessarily a bad team to watch. Like you're gonna be interested in watching them. Yeah. So like when you're putting them on the other screen away from your favorite team and whatever, or unless they are your favorite team, like it's the Jets could be playing a game. Be like, yeah, let's toss Jets on. See how Wilson's doing. Like you know what I mean? It's impressive. But like you saw Darnold go there, and you're like, okay, he's there. where's his weapons? Like, you know what I mean? And so it's nice to see at least
that's what it always turns out to be, is like when you get those quarterbacks that you're curious about. Like the first few games of the season, at least you're like, I want to see how they're doing. Turn that on. Turn that game on. Yeah, I'll watch that game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Carolina playing the Jets week 1? I think they're sticking Darnold up against the Jets. Can you Google that while I move on to the next game? I'm pretty certain.
That's gonna be rude.
I'm pretty certain. We're almost an hour in, so I want to start kind of powering through the games here.
Ooh, I got my draft coming up soon.
Exactly. Tennessee destroyed Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay didn't play football.
No.
Tennessee just came out swinging, 34-3. I don't think there's anyone that really kind of stood out. I just think that Tampa Bay, they didn't start anyone. They don't care.
Yeah.
Mind you, I saw a video. Tom Brady was pre-snap, was doing snaps with a rookie center.
Yeah.
The whole game. Like,
yep.
What a guy.
That's
Fuck,
cool,
I hate
man.
how good he is, man.
I know.
Colts look like shit. Colts look like big pile of horse shit.
None of their quarterbacks did anything.
Nope.
That's dangerous for them,
they
man.
did things. They threw interceptions.
Yeah,
They
not good things. Didn't do anything good.
Even if Wentz comes back, like, man,
He's
Wentz
out for at least the first week, is he not?
I don't know what he's doing.
They're saying it's going to be like 1 to 3 weeks.
So Eason was 16 of 27 for 132, and Ellinger was 8 of 13 for 70 with 2 picks. Brutal. Mind you, they are run first team, so hopefully they can.
Don't want to be a Colts fan this year.
I mean, that's Tennessee's division this year, right? That's hard to beat.
Hey, don't worry about it, boys. The Texans took another win in the preseason.
Falcons and Dolphins. Tua looked good.
Yeah, Tua had fun.
Dolphins look good.
Dolphins
Myles
in general, yeah.
Myles Gaskin looked nice. Receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that full game, but I watched like the full highlights of it. Miami's gonna be good this year.
I feel like Miami is going to be a little different though, because Fuller's out for suspension to start, but he's also partly injured.
Mm-hmm.
So he will be coming into play. Fuller, Parker, like those are, it's going to be pretty good wide receiving core too, and then that takes the pressure off Gaskin.
Buddy, who's the main receiver in that offense?
No, it's Parker.
It's Big Mike.
No, it's Parker.
It's Big Mike Gesicki.
Gesicki.
You know it.
So to answer your question, yes, Jets and Panthers.
I knew it.
Are-
Okay, I remember hearing that on a podcast or something.
Yeah. We'll go through week 1 and after Dave's.
I've got one more game, and we'll talk to your team last, and we'll finish up the preseason. So I actually watched the Raiders and the Rams. That game was good. That was a good game.
Yeah,
that was getting me like, oh, it's like football's coming back, baby.
Because you find a lot of preseason games, you're like, oh my god, I don't even want to watch this. Like, I don't even know who's out there. Like,
man, the
By
Rams.
the end of the game.
The Rams had the game was 17-16
tight.
for the Raiders. Rams they went for 2 points last second to win it instead of tying and going to overtime, and they threw a fade, and it was just a little bit too far out, and he couldn't get it.
Oh,
It was a good game.
but like they were trying for it.
Oh
like,
yeah, there was good turnovers. There was a lot of cool screen plays. There was some nice returns. Like I was like, man, let's go football. I'm ready.
That's where teams are really though. They're starting to in preseason and week 2, and like Dan Campbell was even saying, he's like, this is where you're trying stuff. You're testing. You're not running your full sets. You're not running your full thing. Like you're putting guys in positions that you're looking. That you've been trying to find out in camp, like, okay, I want to see, like, for the Lions, was there any more games before I even jump in?
Nope.
Okay.
Just the Lions
for the Lions, like Reynolds, for example, like this guy who just came in, who's again got another touchdown as a running back in that, Jamal Williams didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I want to see you in these positions. We need to see this to know. We know Swift's gonna play. We know even Jamal Williams is gonna play. We know Goff's gonna play. They're like, we need to see you in a position to do this, and we're gonna also try some random stuff.
My receiving core could go any way.
Oh god, yeah. So like that's the thing about that team. Like obviously they lost, which
They played the Steelers,
but like they
and
played
Ben
the Steelers.
Roethlisberger played very well his first 2 drives.
He played well,
and Najee
but
looked good.
Like we mentioned earlier,
Beast.
No Goff at all,
Mm-hmm.
which I personally think it was a mistake. I still think you get him out there for a couple plays, let him get used to being on the field with those guys in that situation. Outside of training camp where it's a little bit more controlled, like get him out there and get a little bit of work with him. But they put Boyle in, he was just garbage. Just garbage, man. Blau is the backup quarterback, and they put Boyle in there to give him some reps and things like that, and he did not do well. Blau came in and brought them back a bit in the game, really is what happened. And so he's clearly the number 2 quarterback when it comes to it, but Boyle was brutal. But they
Boyle rules.
But they need to, and I'm sure right now, because they know Swift's gonna be playing, and Jamal Williams is out, that they were throwing a little bit more, because you got to put your receivers in a position to test. Amari St. Brown, he is fighting for a spot in that starting top depth chart on there, right? Like Cephas is up there, and Geronimo Allison, and Tyrell Williams are all going to start probably.
Oh, what a garbage!
But his opportunity,
like the complete opposite of the Steelers in which they played.
Right.
The Steelers have too many good wide receivers.
Yeah.
Steelers have lots of great wide receivers. The Lions are like, sorry, who?
Can we have one of those?
Cephas?
Yeah.
What's that?
What's a
Is that,
Cephas?
is that an STI?
Quentin Cephas. And don't get me wrong, I think Cephas is very talented. But I mean,
sophomore.
If that's going to be your best receiver on your team, like you're having a hard go.
We'll see. I still think
TJ Hawkins. Matters there.
I still think that obviously TJ Hawkins, who hasn't been playing too much when it comes to it at all, but like
don't injure him.
But I think Tyrell Williams will surprise people. Like he was relevant everywhere he went.
Good, yeah.
He's gonna be good. I really do want to see St. Brown come out and look like you're a top pick for them. Obviously not number 1, but number 2 pick. So you got to show your stuff, right? Like everyone has high hopes for this guy as he coming in. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping him and Goff can connect a bit, because the couple passes I saw Boyle through to him were brutal, just making him lay way out for it. And
is he quick?
Yeah, he's
like,
quick.
He play quick downfield.
Yeah,
Goff loves that shit.
Yeah, he's a good route runner. And he's good after the catch too. Like he's quick on his hands and that. But he's a good difficult catch. He'll get a good catch in. That might be a bit harder, but like you can count on him to kind of catch it and just kind of just fall if he needs to, or just get in and just kind of push the extra couple yards for your first down, and that he'll fight for it. He's a scrapper kind of a guy. You know what I mean?
Quick things before I forget. Your draft's in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got it open. It's all good.
And
this is like a bunch of people I don't normally play the fantasy football with.
Okay.
Just trying to get in with a new group.
Okay. Yeah. New friends. And then number 2, you mentioned being quick and Jared Goff liking that. You made me think back to the Rams game too. Tutu Atwell looked nuts. He looked spicy.
Spicy.
He did. He was so fast.
Yeah.
He's quick, man. I was like, shit.
There's a couple guys like that. Like you said, the Lions defense, to just talk quickly on the other side of the ball, Julian Okwara is fighting for that spot on the team right now. Obviously with his brother, he played great the first game in that. Jeff Okudah is really trying to solidify himself as like the starting the corner for that team right now, because they're still a little bit on their secondary. So they're working for that, and we'll see how it kind of goes. He got injured last year, which kind of sucks.
His name's Jeff.
Yeah, but he was pretty good for it. So, anyways,
I think the segue we should be making is into fantasy, as I am about to start one. Yeah, might even be happening live on camera here, guys. You never know.
We can save betting for another cast.
Sure,
I think that's fair.
Yeah. We'll save betting for when we get closer to the regular season, where
Don't be a degenerate and bet on preseason like me.
And betting's done for this conversation. Yeah.
Fantasy. So why don't we talk a little bit about what you have going on here?
I wanted to bring up fantasy because I know, like myself and you guys and probably everybody else out there, there's a lot of drafts that are going to be happening. All of us are in many different formats of fantasy football as well. We all share into a couple of dynasty leagues. I'm starting up an auction dynasty league this year. That's going to be weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah, super weird. I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I was like, yeah, sure. I'll jump in. Fine, no problem. And then I realized, man, this is in depth. This is intense. Like, you're straight up a GM and you're doing salaries and contracts, like terms, players, all positions. Like it's crazy. One of the guys in the group though, in Discord put a ton of different sub chats for all the different rules and like different things that we're going to be keeping track of for like how the contracts will work and how much money you're spending, and basically like your salary is basically like fab, and year by year how it's gonna iron out, and the new rookies and free agents every year. It's like, man, as soon as I read through that though, it took like 15-20 minutes. Like, okay, I got it. That's awesome. This is gonna be intense.
What platform are you guys using to do it?
Sleeper.
Sleeper.
Yep,
Sleeper can
they're
run.
jumping
Sleeper
in
can run
Sleeper
that
on
style
one.
of like an auction.
Yeah, it's a
draft now?
12-team league, and it's gonna be 3 divisions, 4 teams. Salary, yeah, it's all auction, so it'll be like the main one will be an auction draft.
You're doing divisions.
Yeah,
3 divisions
Whoa.
is weird.
it is.
How do you get the playoffs? Top in each division and one wild
I think
card?
it's the top 2 and then 2 wild cards, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's gonna be, I don't know, man. It's gonna be intense. Like that one I'm gonna have to take some time on. Like that's gonna be pretty crazy, because obviously the auction to start off with is you're gonna be bidding on all your players, and then after that is when you're setting your terms.
Mhm.
But how much you spend on each player is dependent on how long you're gonna be able to sign them. So if it's like a $1 to $5 player, can only be 1-year contract.
Right.
If it's a $6 to $15 player, it can be 1 or 2 years. If it's above 40, for example, it can be 1, 2, 3, or 4 years.
Cool.
So like it's pretty mind blowing. The one I'm about to start is just a random like redraft league, like a 10-person standard league. So I like what's your guys' favorite style of league to be in?
Not that one.
Yeah, true.
Small, like 10-man is like I'm jumping into one with you guys this year.
Hmm.
And I'm a little hesitant about it because it's just like everyone has fucking stacked teams. It's just like who can put up 250 points this week?
Who's going off the hardest?
Yeah, right. So I'm in 2 dynasty
Mhm.
and 1 in-depth keeper league, right? I really like my dynasties, but I like the keeper league a lot too.
Yeah.
Being able to pick 2 guys that you get to hold on to based off of what position they were drafted in. So for example,
round?
yeah, what round they were drafted in. So I get to keep AJ Brown and DK Metcalf with a 15th and a 13th round pick. So my wide receivers are covered.
Yeah.
Right. So
No
in the
kidding.
first few rounds, and don't get me wrong, the first few rounds, you're like, oh sweet, I'm gonna have just draft a running back. Not that easy.
Yeah.
Because
Everybody else
most of them
keeps
are
the good
kept.
ones.
Most of them are kept, right? So
Yeah.
I like that one too, but I think Dynasty's really kind of grown on me. I like the 2 quarterback. That's really grown on me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I fell in love with Dynasty last year. Last year's the first time I did Dynasty League.
Yeah.
First time I jumped into it, and I fell in love with it. And almost for not really an opposite, but like a counterpoint to the reason you like your keep league. You said you like keep 2 guys. Like I like the fact that I'm investing in like my team that I am keeping for a while. Like it just changes the way you think of trades and things like that. Like sometimes like the way a draft went in maybe just like a regular keeper league or something like that, I feel kind of like I don't know if this kind of went the way I wanted to. A lot of guys I wanted got picked earlier than I thought, and yada yada yada. So you do a trade, like I'll try this here, does this, and it's like crap, it's not really working out. But I'm a little bit more reckless when it comes to trades, or a little more of this, because I feel like there's not as much of a downside if it doesn't really work out.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, when you and I did that trade for Dynasty, like I was thinking about that for a while. I was like, man, like I think this is a pretty good trade. Like I think this, I don't know, like it was really biting on me because I know this is going to not affect me this year, but next year. And there's a reason I trade, for example, anybody's asking me, is probably going to yell at me in the comments, but I traded away Saquon Barkley. And because I was just like, I don't, like a
Who
quad
may not
injury.
start yet, the bastard.
Yeah. But like,
Crazy.
that's the point. Like a quad injury or like a leg injury like that, you don't know if it's going to come back. Like ligament stuff, like always come back, especially from running backs. And so I'm like, do I want a guy who's like obviously one of, if not the best running back in the league, be there? Sure, I get a couple good games for him, but then he just doesn't play for half the season, and then I'm screwed. You know what I mean? So it's like, do I want depth? And so you're just the thought process of this isn't impacting me just this season, but next season, and you're buying into your team, and the picking of the rookies makes you look a little bit more into the NCAA and everything like that, and the guys coming up. So I just find I'm way more invested. So when we had the opportunity to do another keeper league or another dynasty, I was just that was it.
It's kind of funny to me. Like obviously, I feel the same way. I think Dynasty is my favorite too. But I think back to some of the more intense leagues that we were in for keepers and stuff, where you're trading future draft picks and everything too. There's a lot of different intensities that you can get in every format of a league. That's why I'm thinking that this auction one is going to be like crazy. But at the same time, I find Dynasty to be a lot more low maintenance.
Yes.
You don't have to do as much. You have your team, and you consistently have your team. You're never redrafting that team.
Yeah.
You're only drafting rookies and making trades. So,
Which I would argue is my least favorite thing about Dynasty, because the most fun thing at all for fantasy football is drafting.
drafty.
So,
drafty.
That's the only thing. Like, sure, you get to draft 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many you have accumulated for picks for your rookies going into the next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same, man. You
I
don't get
know.
to sit down and break down a full roster and be like, did I just, like last year, did I just get Leonard Fournette in the 6th round? Like, like little things like that, or it's just.
To be completely honest, that's half the reason I'm doing this league, is I just wanted to draft.
Right?
But it's
You're gonna have a super team.
Yeah,
Can I-
probably.
Can I just tell you? Can you just draft Kelsey in first round?
Travis Kelce?
Yeah. Just see
Why?
what your team looks like. If you draft the number 1 tight end, what position are you drafting?
I'm drafting at 8.
watch the
If he makes it to you, take Kelsey and just see what your draft looks
He's
like.
there. He's supposed to be.
like, watch
On this one in Yahoo, he's 12.
Take him.
watch the guys just lose it. Yeah, but well, he's not like he's a bad first round pick.
No, he's
No.
not.
Like, so it's like, but kind of what you're saying though beforehand about like the 10-man thing. I kind of agree with you. And I was trying to tell them is like, let's get 2 more guys in for our league to go to 12, because there's a point like you said, like, yeah, you've got 250 some points going up. Everyone's got stacked teams. It is kind of a little bit more interesting where like I have to start to look into guys who aren't necessarily number 1 options to be in my starter list or my flex list or whatever. Like guys who have potential to be somewhere. Like you're reaching further into depth charts on teams, and it just makes you pay more attention, because sometimes in the lower teamed leagues or the less teamed leagues, you can get number 1 players, and then it doesn't really fucking matter if you just watch the game. You can just have
select
all my guys are there. I know Odell Beckham and all those guys are going to score. You know, I can say, oh, there
Weird
you go. He
choice of
scored, did this,
player.
did this. I know. I'm just randomly. He's on one of my teams.
5 years ago.
He's on
Drake.
one. Yeah, he's on one of my teams. But like I know those guys are going to score. I don't, Julio or Hopkins or anything like that. I know they're going to score. I got it. I don't necessarily have to do that. But when you have teams where you do have to look into, further into depth chart teams, I want to go watch those games. Could be like, I want to know if is he getting play time? Like, is he getting there?
Yeah,
like,
man,
is he?
I'm in a
lot more.
How many
position-
reps is he doing? Right.
Gus
So,
Edwards is one of my starting running backs in one of my 14-man dynasty leagues.
yeah.
Because my team isn't good, but
Yeah, I
that's
was
where
gonna
I'm at though. Like
Yeah.
I am in like waiver depth hell, like
Yeah.
because I gave up a lot to get the guy I want. I wanted Lamar Jackson. I did it a few years ago, and my team is struggling now because of it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And that was a choice I made then. I had a good 2 years. Next year's going to be tough unless Teddy Bridgewater does something.
But that was also my thing. Like when you and I did trade, because AJ Dillon was a part of that trade.
Yes,
was
he
was
looked
one
so-
of the things you
Man,
gave
he was
me.
barreling over people yesterday.
Yeah, and so like that, but that was the thing. 12-man league, so he's not the number 1. He's not RB1, but he's still going to be contributing a lot on that team. So it's somebody that you're going to be watching.
I don't know if he's going to be contributing that
All
much,
it takes is
man.
one twisted ankle, man.
I know. Hey, I
That-
know. Aaron Jones could be gone, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams is gone. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But Aaron Jones, man.
I know, but
Jones is so good.
His
Don't get me wrong,
size,
Aaron
his
Jones is nuts.
Kamara's off the board. Damn it.
But AJ Dillon is just man.
The
watch
size
run
of him,
people-
too.
He had 6
He's-
guys hanging on him
He's
yesterday.
TUFF. He's tough.
Yeah.
So do you remember Blount wasn't like a crazy running back by any means, but you got him on his team because he was the 1 yard line to the
the
end
vulture.
zone guy.
Oh, yeah, the
you got him for
vulture.
touchdown. So it's like he could potentially be that for the Packers. Like he's so big, you'd be like, all right, we need 1 yard to get into a touchdown. Dylan,
Punch it.
running it. Like honestly, so it's like you get touchdowns maybe potentially. So
Oh my God, this is one of the leagues where somebody drafted Patrick Mahomes in the first round.
No.
2 QBs or 1 QB?
One.
Oh yeah, classic. So I think what we'll do before we wrap up, let's stick around and maybe wait to see what you draft,
All right,
and then we'll call it a cast.
fair enough. She's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me now.
Oh, look at that timing.
Oh,
Drafty.
Who do we have,
Oh, speaking of Aaron Jones.
Is he there?
Aaron Jones is there. It's Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams,
Aaron
Steph
Jones.
Diggs, Travis Kelce, Jordan
Aaron
Taylor.
Jones. You gotta go Aaron
It's Kelsey or
Jones.
Adams for me.
Yeah, you really?
Yeah.
Depends on the.
And again, like
Aaron Rodgers is
this
playing. It's
this
Devontae
league,
Adams.
this league, it's 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex tight end.
I think it's Devontae.
But isn't there
Adams.
something up in there with Devontae
Kelsey,
Adams in them
man.
right now? Isn't Devontae and them
15
fighting?
seconds.
I go Aaron Jones.
The AJ Dillon owner goes Aaron Jones.
Nah,
I know.
I'm doing Adams.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, you want
I'm a believer in
Adams?
Adams, man. I'm a believer in Adams.
Yeah, me too.
It was. I was very close to doing Diggs there.
But it's interesting because like when you talk about that, like there's also the conundrum of your first round pick. Do you go top running back and you go top wide receiver? Like it depends on how you want to build your team, right? Like
for me, it depends on what goes ahead of me.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Who's gonna fall?
If Kamara or Chubb would have stuck there, I would have grabbed them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the
Honestly, where we were just talking about it, Jones being left there, like I really like him, and Saquon being left there, I really like him, but I don't know.
How many
I don't know. There's
how
too
many
many
teams
question
in the
marks.
league?
10.
Okay, so you're gonna pick against is it snake draft?
Yeah.
So
I'm picking
okay, so
again
you're gonna
in 4 picks.
okay. So were you
let's
go-
wait. Let's wait for
Are
the
you
next
going? Are you
pick
going?
and
Are you
see
going?
what-
Okay.
Are you going wide receiver?
Guys, you're sticking
Well,
it
it
with
depends
me
on
for the
what goes there.
whole draft.
Well,
Whole
some guys
draft.
like honestly, like in terms of draft strategies, like you see some guys go like okay, I'm getting my top running back, my RB1, I'm getting my wide receiver 1. Like those are my 2 guys I'm going for right away. Some guys I got to go. I'm going 2 big, running backs in a row. I remember the one year that
I always have at least one running back in my top 2 picks.
yeah.
Yeah, personally, I always try and do one of each.
Yeah.
I try-
Nine
I try
times
to
out of
have
10.
At least one running back. I sometimes go 2 RBs.
Yep.
But I usually go RB wide receiver. But I
can't-
will go.
Oftentimes,
I'll never go 2 wide receivers.
No, oftentimes I'll do 1 and 1.
Yeah.
I can't remember how I did it. The
How
one
many good receivers in the 3rd and 4th
actually,
round?
do you know what it was?
Mm.
I think it was Devontae Adams' rookie year. Maybe not even. I think it was his breakout year or whatever. That the year I won the keeper league, and I had Todd Gurley, prime Melvin Gordon, and then I had Devontae Adams show up and on the team. I don't know how I got him in the draft. Like just thinking about it now, like obviously the names, I'm like, how the fuck did I get them in the draft? I was like, because it's just a keeper league, and then like you guys know this, like I'm not a very aggressive trader when it comes to when I'm in the league. Like a lot of times, like I like my team I got and I did this. Sometimes if it's not working out, I'm a little bit more.
Well, I think you kept Gordon that year,
Yeah,
and then you drafted Gurley and then Adams.
yeah, but the
Earlier on, maybe you kept Gurley.
something like that, and then the but in the dynasty league, I was a little bit more willing to. I've done a couple trades in that league just because again, I'm not thinking about just this season. I'm thinking about next season. So in keeper leagues, I'm a little less.
In Dynasty, I'm way more willing to give up a lot more for the guy I want to go after.
Because you know you're going to get that value for that much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it, right?
Trading in some of those other leagues when it's just focusing on the here and now, it's very hard to think about giving up too much because you know what you're giving away for the here and now, and you're not going to get that future value down the road. Sure, and for example, in those leagues where we have our keepers that you keep for so long, if somebody's trading you, DK Metcalf that was drafted in the 15th, that's a pretty good value. I'm probably going to go for that. But it's not going to give you the same future value as Dynasty does, oftentimes.
Yeah, and like again,
here I am.
Okay,
All right.
who went off the board?
There's been a lot go off the board. Now we have left Eckler, Ridley, Hopkins, Gibson, Jefferson, AJ Brown, Mixon. I'm going Gibson. I want the running back Eckler. I like Eckler, but I'm not willing to invest in the Chargers right now.
Ridley?
I know.
Ridley combo? Oh, that'd be the one time I might go wide receivers.
But there's so many wide receivers left. I love Gibson, man,
Yeah.
and I want him in a league. I'm taking him. I do. I don't have him in any leagues. I wanted him.
Let's sound off, Luke.
All right, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in. Obviously, we'll be doing much more, podcasting when it comes down to sports and NFL and all that kind of thing. We definitely do want to do some more conversations about fantasy football. Tell us what you guys like. What's your formats? Who's your best players? Who's your favorite picks? We are going to be doing more on the sports bets and that kind of thing as well. So as the beginning of the season comes up, watch out for some of Dave's picks. By all means, again, like, share, subscribe, watch all of our content, please and thank you. Comment as well. Notification bell. Do it all. We are signing off.